So this is the second slide, and what the authors are saying is that there's an interesting coincidence, and it really is, again, not a coincidence. It's an observation that these hierarchies, these complex and certain organizations here, mainframes tend to be in that same space, which is therefore complex problems of a very certain nature. And they behave in a certain way. Mainframes are large computers in millions of dollars, often leased, and they are very centralized. Here we see client-server architecture, which is primarily personal computing based, and this is the space where it's about, not very certain how it's going to grow. So you start with a few computers, you network them a little bit, you're here, and then you would essentially grow them as the organization grows, but this is for simple problems. This hybrid space is kind of where the authors talk about this, which is the networked on-demand platform. Some of this has actually evolved over the years. So back when these authors were talking about the networked on-demand organization, there was, the term cloud computing had not happened. But essentially, that's what this is. This is cloud computing. This is talking about, a space where you would use something simple like a laptop or a desktop PC with a very simple network, sort of like what the startups would use, and as and when you needed, you would call upon these services on the internet. So you would sign up with Amazon. You could go use 200 servers if you needed to for something to crunch data, and then when they were done, you would sign off. You would sign up with somebody like, let's say, Dropbox, for storage or rack space. So the idea here is that this space here, this hybrid space, is not just for hybrid organizations, but also for hybrid platforms of computing, which give you the complexity of mainframes, almost, not quite, but fairly close, and yet the nimbleness of PCs. So in a sense, it's like we get to keep our laptops and phones, be mobile, move around and work wherever we can on airplanes and trains and in restaurants and such. Perhaps not a very good thing, but that's a different story. But at the same time, as and when needed, we can plug into these very large computers called clouds and get our work done. So that's kind of what these authors are looking at. Now there's another figure which is 3.5. I'm not going to get into detail there. We'll maybe start off with that next week. But again, it's sort of talking about the differences between hierarchical organizations and the on-demand enterprise, how they're different and how the management roles vary. So one important thing is, so let me do a new slide here, is that there's the org structure, then there is the IT infrastructure, is this the influence? That is to say that the org structure influences IT infrastructure, so IT is actually growing because of the need in the organization? Or is it this, that the need in the organization or rather the organization is evolved because we have these newer technologies, we've got cloud, so we work in a certain way? Or is it in fact this, which is they both influence each other? And we'll again look at the examples and see how this has come about. It's not quite one versus the other. It's a cyclical process. It's probably more like, let's see, where are the good arrows? Not very interesting. Oh well. So we will discuss more about this in class, but basically it's one influences the other over time, and then the other influences the first, and it's sort of a one step at a time process, and it's a lot more complex than simply saying that we have certain organizations because of IT and vice versa. So I'll upload these slides to iLearn. Do take a look at the topic 2, where it talks about the, the different technologies. Essentially, mainframes number 1, client server number 4, cloud computing number 6. Those are the 3 things that we're looking at here. Also, when you get a chance, go to codev2.cc, which is the website for Lawrence Lessig's book, Code Version 2.0. You can start reading. If you don't have a copy, you can grab the full text PDF from here. It's under a Creative Commons license. Lessig is talking about the intersection of law and technology. So, and then there is creativecommons.org, which talks a lot about the manifestation of this this concept of Creative Commons. So we'll discuss all of these things when we meet next week. In the meantime, I'll upload stuff to iLearn. Thank you.